Hello everyone, this is Michael Kinsack, coming to you from Northwestern College in Orange City, Iowa, where we have 6 inches of snow on the ground following a lovely Easter time blizzard, which itself followed 2 or 3 weeks of 60 or 70 degree weather, so we're not prepared for this. And when our children go out to do their Easter egg hunt tomorrow, we've kidded each other about not dyeing the Easter eggs, but just leaving them white and then hiding them in the snow throughout our yard and just sending the kids out and saying, "Good luck." The course I revised for our certificate program is English 250 Literary Contexts. That's a general education class usually taken in the 2nd or 3rd year. I teach a bricks and mortar course, and I also teach it online once or twice a year, usually in the summers. I'm going to tell you about 4 elements of the course that I have revised. First, I've added a welcome video. Second, I've added a grading rubric. Third, I've made a video walking students through that grading rubric using Camtasia. And fourth, I've done a number of small things involving ADA compliance and learning preferences. So first, to the welcome video. We use Blackboard here at Northwestern, so one of the things I wanted to do with a welcome and introduction video was, first of all, have the students be able to see me in my messy office and have a sense of who I am, and maybe have a little bit more immediacy in the class, a sense of presence. And I also used the video to walk them through the assignments, the discussion forum, the grading tools, how they receive feedback. Second of all, as I mentioned in the forum posts, I use rubrics in other classes, but I've not in this one because I've wanted to not overwhelm students with everything they need to learn all at once. That's been my working theory, so I sort of tailor feedback to each student and eventually show them all of the things I'm expecting. But the last couple of classes have actually started asking for rubrics so they can see the big picture. So I was happy to develop one. I call it CDI, Claim Data Interpretation, the formula for a paragraph, in my way of thinking about writing, analytical writing. I made a PDF rubric, and I attached the rubric to the grading of each assignment. And I also used Camtasia to walk the students through the rubric, point out how a rubric works, attend to each level of achievement in each area, and help them see what it is I'm thinking when I'm grading. This is located right underneath my introduction video in Blackboard, so it'll be one of the first things they see. I used Camtasia to make it. I loaded it on YouTube and embedded it here. I did include a transcript up here for both the introduction and the grading rubric. And I don't think it'll make much sense to play this for you, but I'll just show you, let's see, using this, some of the things I did. First of all, a little bit of introduction, and then I really enjoyed figuring out some of Camtasia's call-out features. So the criteria, and then the levels of achievement, and then I used the sort of highlight and dim function so that we could focus on claims, that's the C in CDI, and then data, and we walk through each cell, interpretation, and writing with the percentages there. So I was really pleased that I had a chance to be very transparent in my grading and let them know this is what constitutes a well-supported argument, this is what it looks like at different levels, and this is what I'm looking for in addition to your ability to read and understand literature, is your ability to cull through evidence, to see trends, to write a clear claim statement, to support it with relevant and varied data, to interpret that data, talking quotes here, and to write fresh and concise paragraphs and eventually essays. And the next area of change would be several things involving ADA compliance and learning styles. As I mentioned, I added video transcripts to my 2 videos, and we'll do that for the other ones I create for the class. That was actually rather interesting. I learned how to pull down YouTube's own closed caption text. You have to go into the sort of inspect the HTML area and then find a certain tab, type in something, and then cut and paste that into Word and do some interesting global find and replace to get rid of a bunch of the gobbledygook, and then self-correct things when it's completely misheard you. But it was a lot better than transcribing all of my own lectures. So, second of all, I really enjoyed the accessibility checker in Word. Over here, I've switched all my documents to, I think I used Verdana 12, and I learned how to use the accessibility checker, and I love the little check mark that says no accessibility issues found. People with disabilities should not have difficulty reading this document. I've also added an ADA statement, which everyone at the college did this year. It states that Northwestern will provide, on an individual basis, reasonable accommodations to students who have a documented disability, and students are encouraged to contact myself and our disability service provider to discuss their needs. And finally, a little experiment I'm running. I've been thinking a lot during the course about learning styles, learning preferences, excuse me, Donna, and I've always written my comments, typed my comments in recent years back to students, and that makes the class really word heavy. It's a literature class. My assignments come in written words. They read written words. They respond in written words. I respond to them in written words. And now that we're getting all of this video production, all of this movement into the online courses, I thought, why not get audio into the feedback, at least as an option? So let me show you something I've added to my syllabus. It says, in this course, you write about 30 formal paragraphs with that CDI form I mentioned, and several final essays, which build on them. I'll grade each using the rubric, and I'll also send comments, and I love to write comments back to students. When they write me paragraphs and submit it through Blackboard, they may feel like they're just writing to the page or writing to the learning management system, but I imagine that they're a person standing in front of me, and I give them the courtesy of having a conversation every time they turn something in, as well as giving them feedback on their work. So I may tell stories, point out my favorite word choices in their paragraph, recommend books to them, go on little philosophical tangents. In any case, I enjoy writing back, but that can get long, and that may be tiresome to someone who is not a visual or verbal linguistic learner, but an auditory learner. So as of this semester, new policy, you have the option of receiving feedback in written or audio format. I can either write my comments attached to the bottom of the rubric, or I can record them, talk through the paragraph. I could even use Camtasia to sort of circle things, draw lines, cross out words for conciseness. It means the same thing without these words, so get rid of them. Wow, I have to think about that. I'd have to render that. That might take too much time. In any case, I'm offering audio files so that I can talk them through my comments in time and with the text in front of me. Maybe they have the text in front of them. And people who take in information better orally will be able to choose that. And the last paragraph says, I'll ask everyone to choose, and you can switch at any time, and I'll encourage them to try out both feedback styles and see which one works better for them. So those are the revisions I've made as a result of the class. I'm sure I'll make many more before the summer comes when I first teach this class. The lessons learned, I've really enjoyed learning about different tools. The one which really struck me was Camtasia, that I can do a lot of the things that I do in person, online, add a lot of visual interest, production, movement, color to my lectures, which used to be just audio over PowerPoint. So there was a little bit of image, but really they were kind of static. Now they're starting to move and come alive. I can focus on different things. I think there's just more appeal to those. Second of all, rubrics, even for beginning students, they want to see the whole picture. They want the full justification. I love it that today's students are demanding rubrics. Oop, go away. Rubrics explain grades and show students how to improve. Third of all, I've been thinking about how the ADA requirements for students with documented learning disabilities go hand in hand with learning preferences. And I've even been speculating, couldn't we think of those as sort of being on a continuum? We might not all have a learning disability, but we all have learning preferences. And so as teachers, we should customize the learning experience to the best of our ability and using the best technology available so that every student is able to learn the content in a way that suits their particular situation and abilities in life. So those are the changes I've made and the lessons I've learned. Thank you all so much for watching and listening, and I look forward to seeing what comments you have and to watching your presentations.